What's good, O'Shea's channel? It's your boy, man, here back at it again with another episode here on the channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. And today, man, I'm here with up-and-coming creator here in the space, one of the subscribers. He's a brother that's a moderator on one of my other channels and also this one. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself and who he is, family. Go ahead and tell him who you are.
What's up, everybody? My name is Boogie Talks. That's my channel. Very happy to be here to just talk about different perspectives of life and see how we can create more solutions in the Black community and the African diaspora too as well. Thank you for having me, O'Shea.
No problem, man. One thing that we have in common is that you're from, where are you from?
Uganda,
and that's like my favorite place in the world, right? And I think you grew up in Tinda, right?
In Tinda, yes.
Okay, so I'm a Bukoto guy, and what's interesting is you've been living in the States for how long?
For 5 years now.
What brought you to the United States?
My pops has been living here for over 20 years. So, I got the opportunity, because it's not easy, but I got the opportunity to come and pursue the American dream. And probably for the first time ever since I came, I'm probably seeing exactly what the American dream is and where it is. So, because I'm finally starting to do what I love. And for me, that's the American dream.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, because, obviously, I know you went to McCary, right? Okay, you're muted. And what did you think about America before you actually? I mean, were there any countries you went to before you came here, or America, or this was like your first time out of the country?
So I was mainly in Africa. So I was, Kenya, because in the whole East African region. So I'd been throughout the whole East African region. So getting the chance to, I'd been to Asia too, in the UAE. So obviously coming to America was was exciting, but also kind of scary, because you're leaving everything that all your friends back home, almost everything, and then you're going to a whole different country. But what kind of made me excited was the fact that the America I was seeing on TV, whether it's through hip hop, music, the money, the opportunities. So that was very, was kind of exciting, knowing that, back home in Uganda, the opportunities are not as abundant as in America. So that was very exciting for me. And, I was ready to just, get my hands on whatever opportunities to make of it whatever I can, so I can transfer that back home.
So let me also ask you this, because you've been in the United States. Now, when I first came to Uganda, I had an idea of maybe what dating was going to be like in Uganda. I knew what it was like in America. But let me ask you this. What was dating like for you? Because the show is, dating in Africa versus dating in America. Let's start with in Kampala, in Uganda. What is it like dating, African women in Uganda? Like, in generally, like, what is it like courting them?
So I haven't been there in 5 years, so I know a lot has changed.
Okay.
In 5 years. It may not seem like a lot, but it may not seem like a long time, but I'm sure a lot have changed. A lot has changed with social media, feminism, and the economy. Obviously, all those things affect dating. Okay. But when I was there, I was actually in a relationship, a long-lasting relationship. I think it lasted like 3 years, right? So everything was going good, but because of the distance, we had to have a conversation and be like, hey, I'm leaving. You're gonna be here. You're gonna need somebody. I may find somebody there. So we agreed to cut things off. Okay. But to be honest, dating was fine in Kampala, in Uganda, because the women are feminine, they're submissive. They're gonna ask you for money here and there, but nothing crazy, because as a man, you should provide. Now, obviously, there are a few who may ask for crazy money, complete gold diggers, but I didn't really run into those so many times. But I actually left Uganda looking forward to getting married. Like I still had, hopes of being married. I still believed in marriage. Little did I know that dating in Africa is the opposite of dating in America. Like it hit me and I couldn't believe it, But again, it goes back, I guess, to the culture, to the society, to the beliefs, to the values the men and women are taught, to the fact that more in Africa, in my opinion, the family values are still held strong, preached, compared to America, where, women believe they can raise a family by themselves, or they can raise kids by themselves, or they don't need men. We all know all those things. So I think the culture and the beliefs, is the main difference between dating in Africa and dating in America, because all those things, affect how we, interact with the opposite sex, how much we value the opposite sex, okay, how much we think we need the opposite sex. So the external factors like the money and, the feminism and all those things. So the culture, to say, is totally different. So when I was in Uganda, I was still believing in the love fairy tale. And then when I came to America, everything changed.
Now, give me an example of when you started trying to date in America. What did you expect and what did you actually get?
So I didn't expect nothing different from the way I was in Africa, where you meet a woman, you let her know you like her, you go to a date, you go to the date that you can afford as a man. She doesn't
okay.
She doesn't give you any suggestion. She doesn't, like I said, unless you meet a real gold digger.
Right.
But most women you meet will just be glad that if she likes you, if she finds you attractive, she will be up for the whatever kind of date you suggest. In America, it's different. You gotta be, looking over your shoulder. Will she like this place? Will she not like this place? Some of the women even be like, hey, I don't go to that place. Can we go to this place? If you suggest, can we go get a drink? Can we get coffee? She'll be like, no, can we do dinner? It's like she's already telling you what she wants. There's that kind of sense of entitlement and, which is different from Africa. You meet a lady, if she finds you attractive, you plan whatever date you like. You go to the date and you have faith and belief that, you know what, this may actually turn into a relationship. So maybe I was naive, but in Africa, every time I met a woman and we went on a date or we started talking, I was seeing a relationship in the near future. In America, it so happened that just because she goes on a date with you, just because she has sex with you, doesn't mean it's going to be a relationship. So in America, women have as much fun as the men do. But in Africa, the women who have that fun, who have, sex for fun, are not as many. It's still a small number. Now, that could have changed, and it's probably going to change, okay, because now women are told to do whatever men can do. But at the end of the day, when I came to America, I thought I was going to find the same exact thing that I was experiencing in Africa, which is love, relationship, marriage, and so on.
So let me ask you this, because this is a black show, so I know that a lot of like African women that come to America, they may obviously, if they how some Ugandan women are looking, they working with a lot. So if they come to New York, Cali, it's gonna be on them, right? Because they're gonna be like they're gonna be getting numbers left and right.
Yeah.
But I have heard that for African guys, if they're trying to talk to African American women, it could be very hard when they first get here. Was it easier for you dating non-black women? Was it hard for you dating black women or African women in America? I know there's a lot of Ugandans in where you're at in the Massachusetts area. So how was it dating black women versus dating non-black women?
So before I even, I wasn't even, every time I met a woman, I wasn't into the whole thing of, is she feminine? Is she submissive? Is she masculine? Okay, so I just thought the woman wasn't just being nice to me, even if I was being nice. I used to be the nice guy. I mean, sometimes I can be, but I used to be the nice guy. So every time I met a woman in America, I didn't have the, the underlying bias of is she being submissive, is she being feminine or masculine. So I just used to meet the woman thinking, you know, we're just hanging out, getting to know each other and see what's going on. But I'm gonna be honest, and this is probably gonna, cause a lot of backlash in the comments, but the most feminine women I've dealt with were not non-black women. Mm-hmm. Even the African women who came to America were not the same anymore.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you.
What do you mean? What do you mean when you say that?
Because they pick up like I said, the culture determines how someone is going to interact with others. You know what I mean? So even the African women, when they come to America, they pick up the American culture of, I don't need a man because now I'm getting my own checks, I'm getting my own bills. So a man can't tell me nothing. So best believe the way she has been perceiving men, or the way the value she has been placing on men, is going to deteriorate. Because what does she need a man for? She makes her own money. Okay, so a man is just, something she can use or have or change whenever she wants. So the American culture is always going to have the influence on how, we see how people interact with each other. I'm also a good example. Like like I said, when I came from Africa, I believed in the whole love fairy tale. I believe in marriage. I believe in real relationship. I believed in being nice to a woman. I didn't think being a nice guy was an issue. And then I moved to America, and then I'm like, oh, okay, these women don't want a man who's being nice to them, because that shows weakness. So I've also been affected by the American culture. So at the end of the day, I've dealt with non-black women and black women, but now there's so many reasons why maybe the black women were not nice to me or didn't treat me the way I wanted. Maybe there's something to do with me. Maybe I wasn't being as masculine. But there are those who told me, plain and simple, they don't like African guys because we work too much. They don't like immigrants because we work too much. So I've dealt with that kind of thing, but I've also dealt with black women who just don't respect men at all. And then I've dealt with Caucasians, and it was different. Maybe I was biased, but to be honest, it was different. I'm talking about, I didn't know that you could go to a date and the woman offers to split the bill right from the beginning.
Wow. And that was the white women.
Yes, the first woman who ever split a bill with me was a white woman.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that.
I was like, and I've only dealt with a small number, but I was like, this is not normal. Not normal.
You'll never get it in Uganda.
No, in Uganda it was okay because the women appreciate, the women appreciate.
Yeah. So you feel better about doing it, yeah.
Yeah, because there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. But in America, the women be like, so you're paying? As soon as you ask for the checks, she's like, so you're paying up? So when a white woman offered to split the bill with me, I was like, what's wrong with you?
You said like this.
What?
Right.
So now, like I said, maybe because the Caucasian women want the black men, so obviously they may act different or be nicer if they're dealing with you, so they don't come off as racist and all those kind of things. But in my experience, the non-black women have been nicer or more feminine, to say.
Yeah. Let me add to this, because like in America, people call it asshole game, where you have to be a little bit like, if you're, especially in the black community with black women, if you're just kind of nice, depending on how you do it, they think that it's like a sign of weakness. But in Uganda, as a because I actually had some differences. I noticed, when you go to Uganda and try to date a woman, they're more appreciative, because Uganda don't got to worry about, is he gonna pay my transport, because they be dealing with that, like, stuff like that. And like if you pay for a nice dinner, they'll instantly like, oh, I really appreciate, this was nice of you, like I really thank you for this, and you really show me a nice time, and what can I do for you? I mean, that does happen. But I noticed that you don't have to be mean to them. With them in America, you got to play a lot. I mean, I've never been flaked on. Maybe for like a date, I've never been flaked on by a Ugandan ever. Like if Uganda said she's gonna be there, she gonna be there. They gonna be late because Negroes, but they'll be late because of traffic or something like that. But they're gonna be there. But American will flake on you, and they won't even call you, say, I'm sorry, I'm not coming. They'll just flake, not even show up. And that entitlement, now African women do have, in my opinion, there is a certain level of entitlement too. And it's stronger in some areas. But in America, a lot of women are entitled to your attention because they're a woman, or because somebody told them they look good. And I've noticed that. And what I have also noticed is not only that, but in Europe, a lot of black men, a lot of African men, and there are a lot of African women in Europe too. A lot of black guys won't touch them because of what you're talking about. They just will go straight to the white girls. And it's not that they're not attracted to them, but they just don't want to deal with all that foolishness. I mean, I can understand how because everybody not gonna be like me, who I'm super pro black and I'm gonna stick with the black race regardless. Most are gonna be like, I ain't got time. Are you acting like that, or I'm gonna go over there? What do you think about that?
So here's the thing, O'Shea. You see, you've been to different parts of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been to Africa, so you've interacted with American women and African women, and maybe some, European women, black women, right? Mm-hmm. So some people may not even really understand where you're coming from and where I'm coming from. So, but unless somebody has really, interacted with, different kinds of women from different backgrounds, they wouldn't understand why there's actually a real difference. And in my perspective, in my opinion, the difference comes from the household. I'm sure I've seen Joanita mention it one time on the Kinganda channel, on your podcast. In Uganda, there are boot camps, right? That teach women how to be wives, teach women how to cook, teach women submission to men, teach women how to be a housewife, and all these things. The same way we have boot camps that teach, people to do different skills. Mm-hmm. Being a wife, being a girlfriend is a skill as well. It takes, having communication skills, knowing when to never to raise your voice, and all those things, and how to be nice to a man. And the man who will provide. The women who have made me simp the most have been women who have been nice, feminine, and submissive to me. Because when I'm spoiling her, when I'm, treating her well, I don't even look at the figure amount. I don't care, because she's been nice to me. She's made me feel peaceful. Because any man, at the end of the day, if I'm talking to you after, conquering the world, I need a woman who's going to be peaceful, who's not going to try to go back and forth with me over small issues. Just be nice, be calm, make me some juice, be soft-spoken, all those things. So, but like I said, in the African households, the mothers teach women those things. They're like, hey, if you want to find a good man to spoil you and take care of you, you're going to have to treat the man in a nice way. But in America, that is declining. I don't even think it's still relevant right now in American households. All they teach the women is you got to go out there and conquer the world like the man, and you can even be better than men. So if you have your money, you don't need the man. So what happens is when you meet these women out here and you're trying to date or relationship, even if you have hopes of marriage, things are never going to work out because she feels she's a man herself. She feels she can be you. She feels she doesn't need you. So they don't teach them how to communicate, how to treat men, how to be nice, how to get what they want from men without being entitled, without being commanding. Because the only way you can get something from a man easily, this is a tip for all women. If you want to get something from a man, just be nice to the man. You get whatever you want. Even the most red pill people, even the most red pill guys.
Yeah,
be nice to him, and you'll get whatever you want from him.
Yeah, man, that's very true. And the thing about it is that they think that, you know, it's been a long time. I've been American a year, but I do know the mentality of American people, especially women. They think that they don't have to do, and this is women almost everywhere, but especially women in America, that they don't need to do anything, but that they should get everything. I think that's more evident because of what's the whole dust about Kevin Samuels. Here you have some woman that is 35 with a 13-year-old son, you know, not a beauty queen, expects everything when the guy that she wants like that could have. And that's the entitlement thing. Let me ask you this. After living in America, do you think that you would ever get married when you go back, if you ever decide to move back to Uganda? Do you think you would ever get married there?
I'll have to say yes, because some relatives may see this video. But I know the only way I'll get married is to an American woman is if she makes more than me, because obviously if she drags me to divorce court, I lose nothing. All right. And if it's an African woman, she'll have to be completely submissive, like completely, for me to ever think about getting married. So, because at the end of the day, if you as a woman, you're gonna make me commit the rest of my life with you, you know, you're gonna have to give me something more than the WAP. You're gonna have to give me something more than the big ass. You're gonna have to give me something more than, more than I can get from another woman. So you're gonna have to offer me something. Because if I make the commitment that I'm gonna provide for you till death do us part, I need more. You gotta offer me something I can't get out there, and it's not gonna be just the sex, So at the end of the day, the thing is, the entitlement that you were talking about is also in Africa. The only difference is, in Africa, the entitlement. Forget the slave queens that you are meeting in Kampala, maybe, but the entitlement in Africa is usually because they know if they get it, they're gonna be nice to you. So if she thinks if she's gonna be nice to you, then she's gonna feel like she deserves it. Or maybe she sees another friend of hers who gets spoiled by her boyfriend, and she thinks she also deserves it. But they don't, like you said, they gotta put in the work as well. If you want me to provide, you gotta be nice to me and treat me like the man, like the leader. But also, I think as men, we gotta take, we gotta look at ourselves and take responsibility for things like, accepting women who don't treat us well. Because a woman you're dealing with and she doesn't treat you well, and she doesn't see a problem with that, best believe she has done that to some guy who let it slide. If the guy let it slide, she's gonna think she can treat men the way she wants to, because no guy ever checks her. Because the average guy doesn't want to be alone, so all he does is kiss a woman's ass. So as men, we gotta take some kind of responsibility, especially with raising our standards as well. Because I think at the end of the day, if us as men don't raise our standards, nothing's gonna ever change. The women won't wake up one morning and be like, you know what? Let's change. Let's be submissive. Let's be feminine. It's gotta start with us men. We gotta require more, raise our standards, lead better, and then I think that's how the women will come in play.
All right. So let me ask you this, man. For the people that's going to subscribe to your channel, man, what kind of content are they going to expect to see on the Boogie Talks YouTube channel?
All right. So for the men who are still struggling with women, I used to be the same way. Okay. But usually that comes from putting women first, which society tells us men to do that. You know, if you put women as your priority, you're always going to struggle with women. So I make content about, you know, how I used to struggle with women, what I'm doing to be better, how I'm improving myself, focusing on my purpose. I even have a dating book that's available on Amazon called Top 10 Dating Mistakes Men Make, you know, just to break down men who are still struggling with women. Because for me, what held me back for so long was I was so focused on the women. I wasn't focused on being a better man. I wasn't focused on my purpose. I wasn't focused on my self-improvement and, you know, improving from one stage of life to another. You know, I thought just being nice, a nice guy without having resources was going to win the game, but that doesn't work. So as men on my channel, I talk about self-improvement, how you can improve your dating lifestyle, but more so focusing on yourself as a man, because a man without value is not a man in society, because that's what society cares about. Nobody cares about how married you are. Nobody cares how many kids you are. Society only cares about you as a man if you provide value and you're building legacy.
You know, you're definitely right about that, man. So, guys, go to the first comment pinned to the top. You'll see Boogie Talks YouTube channel. Subscribe with the bell. And any last words you got, bro?
Yeah, guys, 2021, men, gentlemen, let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on building, you know, pick up a skill, you know, pick up a book, okay? Focus on your health, your fitness. Okay, let's focus on being better. You want to look at December 2021 being in a better place than you were in December 2020. Let's build, let's encourage each other. Let's focus more about solutions than complaining, because complaining never leads us anywhere. But it all starts with a conversation, which O'Shea is doing through his channels, you know, providing a very good table for us men to talk about our issues and find solutions. That way we can improve and move together as the men in Black community. So thank you for that, O'Shea.
All right, and shout out to, you know, Uganda Bukoto Tenda. I see you, and I'll be back very soon. And as you guys know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. Go to the first comment pinned to the top. We out. Peace.